Namaste. I want to talk about hydrotherapy, healing with water. Water is a universal medicine as is accepted in all Vedantic scriptures. When we use water, we take the advantage of certain qualities of water. Water has the quality to communicate. It's a very good communicator and transportation department. And when water is treated in the body, this water has a capacity of cooling or transferring its coolness or heatness in the body. It communicates by coming in close contact with the skin. When water is kept in close proximity to the skin, the water from the outside communicates with the water from inside the body. If we use water in different ways, like we have wet pack, like a wet cloth wrapped around our body, and the water particles in the cloth influences the water particles inside the body, which comes into the surface of the skin, and this influence is further transmitted into the rest of the body by another science which is called convection current. When the transfer of heat is done through the medium of solids, it's called conduction. When the transfer of heat is done through the medium of liquid, it's called convection, and in the medium of gases, it's called radiation. And knowing this, our forefathers or the people who founded natural hygiene used this. Starting from Father Priestley's, there are several methods of hydrotherapy which are in vogue. More than 185 hydrotherapy applications are there. Now today we are going to talk about a few. We are going to see spinal bath. Spinal bath is for nervous toning. The spinal bath was designed and invented by Acharya Lakshmana Sharma, who is revered as the father of nature cure in India. He adopted the teachings of Louis Kuhne, a German naturopath who had written a book called New Science of Healing. In that book, he had prescribed use of sitz bath. Sitz bath involved 1.5 hours of rubbing the genital tip with a very cold water, with a cloth dipped into very cold water to be rubbed against the tip of the genitals. Such a process was not only obscene, but it was also a disturbance for the patient. The patient could not keep sitting in one place and touching his hand in very cold water and rubbing his genital tips. That was too much to ask. But it did benefit the body. The headaches went down, stomach aches go down. But why does it happen? Because it cools down one set of nervous ganglia. Then, understanding the principle, my grandfather Acharya Lakshmana Sharma introduced spinal bath when all the nervous ganglia meet in the spinal column, and by cooling the spinal column, you are influencing the whole nervous system to get toned. What is tone? Tone is a capacity of the nerves to expand and contract. It should be able to contract back to its original size and shape. That capacity is re-established by influencing cold water or hot water in the spinal column. Now we are going to see in the spinal bathtub there was a influence of cold water cooling the entire spinal column. By cooling the spinal column, the entire nervous system in the body gets toned. Let's see how it is done. Now we are going to show you the spinal bathtub. The spinal bathtub invented by Acharya Lakshmana Sharma, which has now become world famous, and this is the simplest form of spinal bathtub which was made in India and given for so many patients with nervous disorders. All these nerves connecting to the nervous spinal column gets toned. Now we will see how we use it. A person is going to sit down and then lie down in this tub. Here is how you start, standing there, and then slowly get down into the tub. The water in the tub will not be more than half an inch to maximum 1 inch. And now this person is lying down with his legs relaxed and head slightly raised from the bottom and a completely relaxed position. And with the cold water in the spinal bath is going to influence his spinal column, cool all the nervous ganglia, and that way the entire nervous system in the body is going to be toned. How long is he supposed to lie down in this tub? Usually 15 to 20 minutes. Within that time, he will get completely relaxed in the body and in the mind. How does he get relaxed in the mind? All the nervous disturbances affect the mind. When the nerves are relaxed and his mind is also relaxed, this relaxation helps us to be active for a whole day. Now let us see other applications in the spinal bath. Now we are going to apply a wet towel around his abdomen. ये हाथ उठाइए, raise this hand and down, and the other hand now down. The abdomen is cooled with the wet cloth, and an additional cloth, a wet cloth, is applied on his head. This way his head is cooled, his spinal column is cooled, and his abdomen is cooled, and the nervous system, which is acting very fast to cool all the nerves in the body, will eventually heat the head. So if a head pack is given, it's an additional protection. So, and the head is cooled, abdomen is cooled, and the entire body is outside the water. So the difference of temperature will establish better circulation of the blood, and better circulation of the blood will establish harmony in the body, peace in the body. That's the spinal bath. Now let us see about the other types of baths. Now we are going to show you the use of the same tub for hip bath. Hip bath is to cool the pelvic region to be subjected into cold water. Now let us see how he sits in the tub. Go from the side of the tub and sit down, and now the water level will be up to his navel, and this bath duration is about 45 minutes, cooling the pelvic region. Most of the problems, particularly in women, happens in the pelvic region. So a hip bath is very useful to remove all the problems of the pelvic region. This bath is usually given for 45 minutes. And also in this bath, we can include a cold head pack. Let us see how it is done. Wet cloth is given to cover his eyes and the body. Now the cold wet head cloth will cool the head, and water in the spinal bathtub, hip bath, it will cool the pelvic region. So cooling both regions, the body will get completely relaxed, and the pelvic region will act much better than before. Thank you. Now we are going to show you cooling wet pack. This is also applied in the chest or in the abdomen or different parts of the body, where the thick cloth is used, drenching almost with water, and that is wrapped around. Now right now we are using on the abdomen wet pack, cooling wet pack applied on the abdomen. Now he is going to turn around and see the front. From this all around the body it is wrapped around. This cooling wet pack is applied for usually half an hour to 20 minutes to half an hour maximum. So within that duration, during the time when the water from the cooling wet pack evaporates, it cools down the body in the abdomen. When it's cooled down in the abdomen, there will be improved circulation and relief from pain. These are the different applications. Now we have seen cooling wet pack. The same cooling wet pack is used in different spots of the body. It can be used on the head, and it could be used in the head, or the feet, or the thighs, different parts of the body, or the chest, depending upon where the problem is. Now, this cooling wet pack is used only in acute crisis. When there is severe pain, these things can be used.